Hello YouTube, this is going to be an updated version of the Alexa to control Directv tutorial. We're going to make it relevant for today. So programs we're going to be using, it's going to be Notepad++ for our inline editor. We're going to be using the GitHub site to get our files so we can make this skill work. We're going to be using the Alexa Developer Council and the AWS Lambda site. So to get started, you are probably going to want, if you're going to follow what I do in this video, you're going to want to get Notepad++. That's what I'm going to use. The link will be provided in the video, and it's a free download, and it works really slick. So we'll be using the Notepad++ to change one file a little bit. Not a big deal. So let's start off by going to the GitHub site. You're going to go over to the Echo skill to control Directv, and we are going to go over here to the clone or download. Download the zip. Once that gets downloaded, open it up and just drag it out onto your desktop. Once that's done, we'll be able to work with the files and make the changes that we need to make to get the skill working. While that's doing that, we'll go over here to the Alexa Developer Council, sign in, click on Alexa. We are going to be using the Alexa Skills Kit, not the Alexa Voice Service, Alexa Skills Kit. So go ahead and click Get Started, and then over here we're going to add a new skill. We're going to leave the custom interaction model alone. For the name, that's going to be whatever you want to name your skill. So we'll name this one Directv Test. Our invocation name is going to be what you use to get Alexa to recognize that you're talking to it, that it's using this skill and changing the channel on your TV. So in this case, I'm going to use TV. So my commands to Alexa would be, Alexa, tell the TV to change the channel to CNN. One thing that you do not want to do here is you do not want to put in Directv the way Directv spells Directv, because Alexa is looking at what it's listening to what you're saying, and when you say Directv, it doesn't interpret it as that. It interprets Directv as that. Two different words. So if you put your invocation name to be Directv like this, Alexa is never going to hear you and necessarily direct you to this. Your skill will have very little success on being able to work, but it will work in the simulator. It just won't work in real life. So if you have trouble getting the skill to work, but you're getting it to work in the simulator down the road, try changing your invocation name. In this case here, we're going to do what I do for mine, which is TV. Scroll on down and hit save. Once that happens, if we scroll back up, we now have an application ID right here. And we'll want to highlight that and copy it. And we should be able to go back now to where we got our files downloaded from the GitHub that we drug onto our desktop, and we're going to be using the custom slot skill. Open that up, and you'll have everything that we're going to need to make our skill. The things that we're going to be changing is going to be right here in this index file. So right click that and open it up, edit with your Notepad++. Something that's going to catch a few people is if you go to where you're trying to, well, it's going to work for me here, but some of you are going to download this and you're not going to be able to type anything, and you're not going to be able to make any changes. And the fix for that is to go up here to edit, and you'll go down here to the clear read only flag, and you'll select that. That'll make it so you can edit this file and make your changes. If you can't type anything in here, that's what you want to do. Right here, line 17, the variable app ID, that's going to be where we're going to put what we just copied from the Alexa Developer Council site. And we'll paste that right in there. And we'll click the little save button. One other change that we're going to want to make is we're going to want to find out what our public WAN IP address is. So we're going to go to Google and we're going to type what's my IP, and here's my public IP address. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to my Notepad++ that I was working on, and right up here on line 8, variable local IP, I'm going to clear that out. I'm going to place my public IP address, and I'm going to hit save. And that is all the changes that I need to make to that index file. Meanwhile, let's go back over here to our Alexa developer site. We're going to go to Next. This is where we're going to build our skill. We're going to start with the intent schema. If we go to our folder that we got from the GitHub, you'll see that there's a tab here called Intent Schema. We'll right click on that, edit with Notepad++. Here's our intent schema. We're going to highlight that, copy it, go back here, right click, paste it. Now we're going to go to our custom slot types. For enter type, that's going to be the name of our list, which is going to be control list up here. You see where it's right here? That needs to be exact. If you just type in control list and you don't capitalize the C, or you got an extra space in there or something like that, it's not going to work. So that needs to be exact. I've had people tell me that when they're using Microsoft Edge for their browser for this, that they have problems sometimes. So I use Chrome for all of it. It seems to work pretty well. So if you run into snags with, I've put that in exactly, I know I don't have any extra space or anything like that, try doing this with the Chrome browser. Now for our values for this list, we're going to go back to our folder that we got from the GitHub, and you will see custom slot values. We'll right click on that, edit with Notepad++, highlight all of this, copy it, go to our values, right click, paste, and click add. Now we're going to do our sample utterances. So once again, go to the folder you got from the GitHub, sample utterances, edit with Notepad++, copy all of that, right click and paste. Now instead of hitting next, we're going to hit save. This will take a little bit, but it'll start chewing on everything and putting all the values together for us. While that's doing that, let's go over to our AWS Lambda site, and we're going to log into our AWS services, and we're going to select Lambda. We're going to make sure that our region is North Virginia. You do have several options, so in this case make sure that you are US East North Virginia so that this works for you. And we're going to create a function. We are going to author it from scratch. So for name, whatever you want for a function name. I'm going to call this one Directv test. Runtime can be this Node.js 610. Role, we're going to choose an existing role. For our existing role that we're going to choose Lambda basic execution. If you click that and that doesn't populate, type that in, Lambda underscore basic underscore execution. Go ahead and create your function. Once you get to this point, this is where Lambda has changed a lot since the first video. I'm going to leave the first video on YouTube because I go through the Alexa developer council stuff a little more in depth, and a lot of that hasn't changed. And I don't know how many people have embedded that video into different sites and stuff like that. So I'm going to put a link to this one as well. But what we're going to do is up here, this Directv test, that's our function that we're creating right now. We're going to add a trigger, and we want Alexa to trigger our function, and we're building that in our Alexa Skills Kit. So we're going to select the Alexa Skills Kit, and that'll populate here. Now this is important. You're going to want to go down here, as this box down here populates, you're going to add that. So now we have our trigger, and our save, we are able to save. Before, what a lot of people were saying was, I can't ever get the save box to light up, so I'll add my file, I'll add everything to my function, but I can't get it to where I can save it. That's what you're doing wrong. You got to select your trigger, go down here and hit add. Once that's done, we can click right here on our AWS Lambda function that we're creating, and that populates a new box, the function code box. What we're going to do for our code entry type is we're going to upload a zip file. So select that. Our runtime is staying Node.js 6.10. Our handler is going to stay index.handler. That's all correct. And we're going to go one more time to our folder. Now if you remember what we did here in I'm sorry guys. What we did here with our index file was we put in our public WAN IP address, and on line 17 we put in our app ID address from the Alexa Developer Council, and we saved it. And when we saved it, it updated this index file here. So what we need to do is we need to create our zip file. We're going to use this Alexa skill file that we haven't done anything with, and we're going to hit Control, and we're going to click on the index file. We're going to right click, and you can use 7-zip to compress your file, or if you're using Windows, you can go right here to compress a zip folder, and now we have our zip file right there. So now what we will do is we'll go over here to our Lambda site again, because we're going to upload that file that we just made. So we're going to click upload. We're going to select our index zip file. We're going to open it, and now right beside it you see where it says index zip file. We can scroll down and take a look. You're not going to make any more changes because your execution role has already been decided. It's choose an existing role. Your existing role is Lambda basic execution. Your timeout is 3 seconds. That's fine. Everything else you can look at it. There's nothing more to do. So at this point we will hit save, and everything is saved for us, and it'll give you this ARN number. This ARN number you will want to copy. Make sure you don't get any extra spaces or anything like that in there. But we're going to put this ARN number in with our Alexa skill on the Alexa Developer Portal. So copy that. Go back over here to where we left off with the sample utterances. And if we look down here, it's successfully updated the interaction model. We're going to click next. At this point, our endpoint is going to be our AWS Lambda function. So we are going to select AWS Lambda ARN. And this is where you're going to paste in that ARN number that we just got from our AWS Lambda site. From that point, we'll go on down and we will hit save. And it successfully updated the publishing information. So we're moving right along. We can now go to our test. And this will be where you try this thing out and see if it actually works. So in the test simulator, if we want to go to CNN, we'll just type in CNN, hit the test, and what you should get back is something like this. It sends off the request, and your service response comes back from AWS Lambda saying OK, and my TV just changed to CNN. Once you get this to give you a service response that looks like this, then you are in business to ask your Alexa, your Echo device, to change the TV to CNN, and it will do so. If you have problems there and you want to see what's going on, you can create a test point. If you copy what you're sending off as your request, and you copy that, and you go over here to your lambda function, and you go to test, and we're going to create a test event. Go here and delete all of this and paste in that request that you just made and call it Directv test or whatever, and you create it. Now you should be able to hit test, and that'll test it right here in Lambda itself. I believe. I'm kind of winging it now at this point. Monitoring. We can see where it went through. I'm not exactly sure where that test point went. They have changed this a little bit. Execution details. There you go. So here's our test event, and it went through and it has said OK, and it changed the TV to CNN for us. So hopefully that helps. Something else to consider is if you are like me and you don't pay for a static public WAN IP address, if you unplug your modem, plug it back in, your public WAN is going to change from time to time. So if this skill is working for you and all of a sudden it stops working for you, check your public WAN address, what's my IP, and see if it's changed. And if it's changed, what you want to do is go back into your index file, change that one line right here, line 8, to your new public WAN IP address, and then do a zip folder and update your function, and you should be good to go again. Those are, hopefully this helps. I don't ever know how to end these things, so I'm just going to end it. If you got any questions or anything, let me know. I'm going to unplug my modem after this, so everything's going to go away, and I'm going to delete this skill. But I thought it would be nice to put things out there so you guys can actually see what you're supposed to get and how it's supposed to work. Happy New Year's, everybody! If you like this, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed it, if it was helpful to you, please hit like. Thanks.